Well, hello once more. Today I'm going to embark on something that I'm really finding my way with, which is the Glimmer hot foiling system. It came last week and I've been having a bit of a play with it just to find out what you do. Apparently on the internet, loads of videos say that each combination of Glimmer machine and die cutter are kind of different. The rollers are calibrated slightly differently, and so you may need a slightly different sandwich for this, that and the other. So I'm learning, I'm getting there. But I thought I would just share a few things with you that I've discovered in the short time that I've actually had this machine. One of the things that you can do with it, which I think is brilliant, is the fact that you can hot foil from your existing dies. And here I have got a bit of an experiment. I started with this one, and I don't know if you can see the difference with these, but I'll try and hold them somewhere where you can see. The rainbow coloured one was the first one I did, and the line which surrounds the die cut is very, very skinny. This one, I don't know if you can see that, but the line is a bit bolder. It's a bit wider. Not a lot in it, but it's enough to make quite a difference overall. And I'll show you what I did to achieve the wider line, the more solid line. You might be able to see it better with this here. This is another example. Here, this little die was from Glimmer, a Swedish company, and the line that is foiled is really quite fine. Whereas here, I tried it again. Let me just see if you can see that. Yes, you can. The line is bolder. It's broader than this one, so I'll show you what I did. First of all, I've got my machine on, and it takes quite a while to heat up. And I was just finishing my cup of coffee, and I thought, oh, it's been on a long time. Why isn't it on? I wasn't paying much attention, and the ready light had gone out, which is it was a safety feature. It's like my my iron. If it stays on and I don't iron, it turns itself off, so that it's not wasting electricity, and B, it's not a danger. Same thing happens with this. So if it does turn itself off, the only way to get it back on again is to switch it off, pull out the plate, push it back in and turn it on again. I discovered that too. Anyway, here we go. This word was a die by Winnie and Walter, who sadly are not trading any longer. And the one I'm going to use today is also from them. It's the word love. Now, here I've got my roll of foil, and I'm just going to cut a piece out. I'm going to cut it like that, because one thing I have discovered is that too much excess foil and you get it transferred in places where you don't want it. So I'm just going to pop that on there. I'm going to put the foil. No, I'm not. I'm going to do my magic trick. And this is my magic trick. You probably can't see this. This is a little piece of overhead projector film. It's very, very, very fine, thin acetate of sorts. Very thin, much thinner than the acetate that I would use for making cards. But what I'm going to do is to put that over the top of the die. Then I'm going to put my piece of foil with the pretty side down, making sure it's covered. Here I've got a piece of card that I want to emboss it onto, or foil it onto. I don't know what the proper expressions are. I'm going to put on my shim. The thing I'm not very good at is getting things absolutely straight, but we find ways around that. And press the timer button. Okay, let's just get a few things out of the way while that's flashing away. I've had to do a bit of a reorganise here because my workspace is considerably limited. So I think that can stay there. I've got to wait now until the timer light stops flashing. That's the trouble, it is kind of slow. You have to have patience or something else to do or whatever. You could talk amongst yourselves, couldn't you, really? Talk about the weather. The fact that I've got to have a very expensive course of dentistry coming up, which is going to be fun. Gosh, it's still flashing. Oh, there we go. It's lit up. So now I'm going to take it out. Oops, a daisy. And put it through my Gemini. Quite slowly and back again. There we are. Put that back in there. Take that off. Lift off my, and there, peel it off. That's not bad. We've got a bit of overfoiling there. Let me just push this out of the way. Now that's where this comes in handy. But you see, can you see it? That is really quite a substantial sort of line. This is an electric eraser. Somebody said it's what this job I'm doing now with it. It's a little battery operated rubber eraser, whatever you care to call it. You have to be careful what you you have to be careful what you say in different countries. They mean completely different things. So you have to be multilingual. So there we go. That's getting that off. There's not much there actually, which is really quite good. If you go over the line, this is embossed, it doesn't actually make a difference because it's kind of letterpressed in. The actual foiling, it's in an indentation. So if you do take your rubber over the top, it doesn't matter. This kind of rubber also works. This is a sand. We call it rubber. Americans call it erasers. I'm not quite sure what Australians call it, but no offence, please, from anybody, whatever you call it. There we go. So that I'm really quite pleased with because it's quite strong. That's quite a strong emboss. It looks much better than the original one. I'm just going to turn this off for a minute because I will be doing some more later, but I want to show you now how I went about colouring in the letters in this one here. And to do that, I cut myself another piece of card with the word on, and then laid the bits and the backing, definitely the bits, onto a piece of paper, and I sprayed a gentle spray of this. This is Crafter's Companion Stick and Spray, and it is a repositionable adhesive. So I can pick this off here. It's slightly stuck at the edges where I put it. And I can arrange it around this impression so that I can just about need to be able to see. It's difficult not getting my head in the way. There we are. Now put the bits in. Had to move my there we are. One, and the bit from the E. There. Now, you can, of course, use masking paper to do this. Cut it from masking paper and put it over. But I had this stuff. I didn't have, well, I suppose I might have had some masking paper somewhere. So here I've got some shades of Distress ink. I have Candied Apple, Worn Lipstick, and Saltwater Taffy. And I'm going to just, I think I might need to put a bit of mask over the top of that, just in case I go a bit out of the way, and just make sure that that doesn't get in the way. Okay, let's start with the Candied Apple at the bottom and just add a bit of colour. I love these blending brushes. They're really cheap as chips. I think these ones are they're supposed to be makeup blending brushes, I think, from eBay or somewhere. They're really, really cheap, but the texture of them is absolutely lovely. I always used to use sponge daubers, which I love, or this kind of thing. But these are quite, when you consider the texture of those compared to the texture of these ones get a much smoother sort of finish. They're absolutely fabulous. Anyway, let's have the next one, the next colour. Put this through the middle. And the Saltwater Taffy at the top. I keep my I keep a record of what Distress inks, Distress Oxide inks I have on a thing like this, and I don't, in my display here, my storage, I keep them in alphabetical order so I can go to them. But on here, I keep them in colour family so I can look more closely and think, well, which colours would I like to put together to make an ombre effect, or which colours would, you know, which pink would be the best one to go with the red, whatever. So it's quite a useful thing to have. I just draw up a table and stamp when I get a new one. So there we are. It's on a hinge at the moment, so I could actually just check and see if I've got enough colour. Lift it up. I think that's fine, actually. I'll just take these out. 1 and 2. Now, isn't that lovely? Do you know, I'm kind of pleased with that. Considering I'm new to this game, I think that's really nice. And the foiling around the outside is obviously a bit more definite than my first effort, which was just doing it directly without using one of these. And I have used some of this twice. I wondered whether the indentations or whatever would make a difference to doing another one. But I haven't noticed a difference. So there's something for you to have, and that's something else for you to have a little go at. And thank you so much for watching.